Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. If you've been wondering how to connect your POS with external tools and automate those repetitive workflows that take up your time, you're in the right place. A lot of people have been asking me, how do I connect Final with something outside? And today I'm going to show you one of the easiest ways to do that. We're going to walk through webhooks and how to set it up and connect it into n8n. And then we're gonna build custom automation to transform how your POS handles customer data. So let's get started. Great, so I've taken the liberty to already open up the builder interface here. If you're unfamiliar with the builder, I would urge you to go watch some of the previous videos that teach you how to actually use the builder, or go to our knowledge base at help.finalpos.com. Today is not going to be very advanced, but the tools I'll show you how to use here will let you literally work with any other solution out in the world that have an API. It's very, very powerful stuff, and you'll be able to more or less integrate your POS with anything that you can imagine. So let's start by dragging out a button here. We're just going to close this action console for now, and then let's start with just showing you how we get stuff out of Final. I'm just going to let's call it something like open gate, just for sake of this was something a customer did the other day. So I just want to show you, when we click this button, we're going to send a signal out to another solution through what is called a webhook. Again, you do not need to be a programmer to do this. It does help if you understand, but really no programming skills necessary. But when we click this button, Final is going to send a signal out that we decide what is, and it's going to send it out into another solution. This can be your own web server. It can be a little Arduino standing opening a gate in your local gym, to another bigger tool like Zapier that then takes it on to integrate with your marketing solution or anything else. We have a full Zapier integration that just went live, so I am gonna do a video on that. Zapier is super powerful in terms of listening to any changes in our database, such as new customer creations and whatnot. This is more to do things on the fly based on what you have in your environment here during the point of sale. So let's just change over to another pane here. This is the n8 interface. You do not need to know n8n or have an account right now to follow along. You could set this up again with a webhook to anything. So if you're using Make or Zapier, or you have your own software, server, or service anywhere, you can integrate it, same thing. I just use this as that's one of my go-to tools for some automation flows. I start by clicking Add New Step. I'll go up here. Again, there is a lot of different things we can do with this. I'm just going to search for webhook. And then it creates the first node, as they call it here in Zapier, in n8n. Let's open that up. And the webhook gives us a test URL and a production URL. We're going to play around with the test URL, but if you are using n8n and you want to run it without having the canvas here open, you would have to use the production URL. But we're going to run with the test URL. We're going to change it to post as we're posting to it here. And then let's go back in. So now we're ready to set up our action. We got our n8n URL that we want to send the signal to. So let's go down and click Actions. We're going to write a new action, and then let's just say open gate. Again, I'll show you more examples in a bit, but let's start by just going, we can go all the way down here, but you are also able to find it by writing webhooks here. So we're gonna put this in, and now it says webhook URL endpoint. And this is where we need to push or copy paste in our URL from before. You see this is the final POS environment with n8n, and then we have our webhook test and then a unique ID. This basically tells us that we're going to send to this endpoint, and n8n will be listening on this URL, and we can choose to send in different forms. For this setup today, I'm going to click just form encoded, and then I'm going to say webhook data. And now we can do a couple of different things down here. We can say custom entry, general data, which would cover all of the environment data, the employee that are logged in. If you want to send the employee, Matthias Nielsen, need help in aisle 1, send it in a text message, send it over the Sonos speaker or in an email or whatever you want to do. That would all be data in here. We're going to go a little bit deeper in a bit, but just know that all of your order data, cart data, product data, anything that we really have around the checkout experience here is available at any given moment. I'm going to start by just hitting custom entry, and then I'm going to write gate. That will you'll see that in the endpoint in a minute, and then I'm going to write open. And this is really just how we have webhooks usually working, but I'll show you the output or the payload as it's called in just a minute. Let's save this action. We're basically ready to try and see what we're sending here. I'm gonna save this build, and we're just gonna verify everything is okay, and then we're gonna hit publish. Now we're publishing our new build with the open gate. Great. And then let's just go over. I just have it open in a web environment. This is not available to you yet, but it is something we're working on. So I guess this is a bit of a sneak peek, but it is coming to you where you're able to launch it in the web browser. Again, this would normally be on your iOS, Android device, Windows device, whatever you have. It will of course work on any device that Final runs in. I'm just going to make sure we have the latest version here with our latest build, so the button is available. And then I'm going to go in and click resume session. Great. So let's go over back to our n8n workflow and just say execute workflow. What you'll see here is it will say waiting for you to call the test URL. So let's switch back again and click open gate. And now we come over here and you see webhook executed successfully and one item. So let's dive in and see what item that was. First off, we with these webhooks, there's always coming a header. This is a bunch of data of where did it come through from. We're going to close that up for now. It doesn't matter for now, but that is a lot of environment data. So it would tell your iOS device and that you're on an iOS device or Android device or whatever you're on. For now, what we care about is the query. And what you'll see here is now we have gate open. And that's really the first example of what you're able to do. So now that we have it in here, it's available to the rest of the world, that signal to send. I'll show you some more powerful stuff, but now if you had, let's say, a little gate at a gym or something like that, we could use the HTTP request to start posting a full API to a API endpoint, or you could transfer it into your system, however you want. So now that we have a connection set up, let's try something a little more powerful. We're gonna try to do some data enrichment based on the customer selected, and then we're gonna send that in an email just to kind of show. Again, I'm not gonna go into any specific direct use cases. I can tell you customers can use this however you want. I really just want to be teaching you the skill set to get the data out, and how you do and what you do with it is all up to you. Really, anything that have an API, you should be able to connect with through this tool. And there are a bunch of other pre-made nodes as well, so you don't just need the custom HTTP request and whatnot. Cool. Let's take it up a little bit of a notch and say let's go back to the builder here, and then go into customers, and let's try and add a button here that adds some data to our customer info here. Cool. So I'm gonna just create a new webhook. I'm gonna jump back and say we can probably use the same here. I'm gonna just copy that URL, click here and say customer enrichment. We can go a little more fancy and call it customer data enrichment. Cool. Let's go down to webhook trigger. We're gonna copy in that URL again. But this time around, instead of just sending something fixed, let's start working with some dynamic data. So I'm gonna go down to customer here, and then I'm gonna write, let's start by saying we wanna send email, and we are gonna send customer email. So you probably recognize this from over in the dynamic data. But what we're doing now is whatever customer we have selected out here, when clicked on this button, we're gonna send that. We could send a lot more, but I actually, for the flow I'm looking at, we probably don't even need to send much more. I'm just gonna say name here, just to see if we can get it a little bit better there. Great. So I'm gonna save that, and let's just name this here. Again, you can do anything you want. This is just a fun little example of the power of what you can do with webhooks. Okay, cool. So let's send this payload along. We're just gonna go back here, go to station home, just make sure we have the latest build. Great. And then I am gonna resume session. I'm gonna now go over to customer data. So now we have it over here. And let's take, we can take mine here. That should work. You know what? Actually, let's just create a new one. Matthias Nilsson, and we'll use my email here. And we could, of course, give a lot more data. The more you feed it, the better it becomes. But this should do for now. Let's go back over here and just restart the workflow again. Normally, in a real environment, you would have it on the production URL, you would have it as active, and that means you don't need to click the execute workflow for it to work. It will just run in the background. But let's try and click enrich data. I have clicked it. I should maybe make a nice little active effect here for next time, but it's been sent. So let's see what we have here. Now you'll see that I sent a query with n8n at final POS and Matthias Nilsson. Let's try and use this for something a little more fun. So I'm gonna connect, you see it's outputting a workflow here. Again, if you want a demo in n8n, you can find plenty of tutorials online. But for this, I'm gonna just say drop contact, which is something I've been using in the past. And I've already set up credentials and whatnot for it. What we're gonna do here is you can see that over here, this is the input, this is the output. Let's drag in the email here that we're grabbing. So this is coming from our webhook. Then if we want to add more data, we are able to add an extra field. We're going to add in full name. Again, the more we add, the better it becomes. We're going to see here now what happens as I click execute step. It's going to call drop contacts services with that email and that name. And then it's going to create an output based on its findings. Some of these take a little bit of time as it's scouring the internet to find stuff about me now. So as it's doing that, we can start adding our next node. Let's add an AI node just to show you a little bit of what's possible with AI. So we're going to add an AI agent that grabs that data. So basically, we're sending some data, we're enriching it. We'll add an AI node to get that output out too. And for an AI node to work, we're going to add a chat model. I like to use OpenRouter. OpenRouter is really just a good library of all of the different ones. So you can choose whichever you want. For today, I'm just going to use ChatGPT 4, but we could also have gone with any other AI model. So if you're a Claude user or Gemini or whatever, you're absolutely able to do that. We don't need memory in this case, and we don't need any other tools added to it, but you could have lookup assistants like SERP agents. You could have it have memory, so as you're calling it, it can do more in terms of that. But you can actually see what it has started finding on me here. So you can see that it has found first name, last name. Again, if we go back and see, we only gave it n8n at Final POS and Matthias Nielsen. Now it's finding my LinkedIn profile, where I live, LinkedIn for our company, where I work, how many employees we are, all that kind of stuff. Really powerful, cool stuff that we're now gonna feed into the AI agent. We could do a bunch of different stuff here. I'm gonna go really simple and say create. Actually, I'm just gonna see if I can define below here. Okay. I'm just gonna make this a little bit bigger into an expression. You are an AI summary assistant. Your job is to create a small blurb around our knowledge, let's say. Cool. This is the data that you have. Normally, I would probably give this a lot more. Now that we've found the initial things, we can then. I still like to organize it. We can have civility here. That's cool. LinkedIn. Oh, LinkedIn. Cool. This is again just to show you. If you were to set this up for real, I would probably start looking at the About Us page and all of those kind of things. And this will just output the number here. So let's just say number of employees, first name, last name, civility, cool. LinkedIn, location, cool, website, and then company LinkedIn. And that should do it. But again, if you were to do this for real, what I would probably have is an SERP, or not a SERP, but a website scraper. There are SERPer or some of those tools that will do that. So you could scrape the website, go find us, find the About Us page, put that in. You can do all kind of stuff. Again, this is already quite advanced for being able to output anything from the POS. So now I clicked execute step, and you say here, Mr. Mathias Nielsen is a professional based in St. John's, Newfoundland. Robust presence. Wow, that's cool to hear all this stuff about me. But it basically shows what it could find about me. You could have gone much deeper and scrape all of these kind of things. But let's pop this into Gmail. Again, you can connect this with anything. If you wanted to output this into your newsletter email, or if you wanted to pop this into a campaign monitor, MailChimp, HubSpot, whatever CRM you might be using on the back end, you can do this. Any of these webhooks, of course, work in kiosk solutions and other things too. We're going to send a message. We'll have the data come through here. We're just going to send a message to myself. But again, this could be to your clients or yourself, managers, whatever you want. This could be hey, I need help down at aisle 2. Email might not be the quickest way to get it through, but really any service that have an API again. So we're going to say findings on, and then we're going to drag in the name. And now it will say findings. That's the subject on Mathias Nielsen. For the message, we're just going to say this is our summary. Cool. And then let's grab in and do an output here. So now it will output, this is our AI summary. Cool. So I've already connected it to Gmail account. I'm not going to teach you how to do all of that today. There are many much better tutorials online. We could do all kind of stuff here, find our emails and update them or whatever. But what I'm going to do is just click execute step. Cool. It says note email sent successfully. So let's see if we can find that over here in a minute. It should come through. And I am just refreshing my email here. And if we go over, I'm just gonna quickly show you here. This is now the email that came through from where we said, and shared all of the links and whatnot. So our workflow is now working, meaning if we were to activate it, we could now click enrich data flow with customer and send them, like them on LinkedIn as they came in and bought, and say, hey, let's stay connected or whatever. It really gives you the unique experience of being able to like change the actual web checkout flow instead of the traditional POS experiences. You're now able to connect it with the rest of the world and go pretty crazy with what you're doing. Like in this example, again, I would probably tie them in, connect them on LinkedIn, send them a newsletter. Hey, thanks for shopping with us. Here's your order info on an email or SMS. There are better flows for some of these. These are usually used at the point of sale. But I would note one important thing is we went in here and we said on click. There are another action type that are auto-triggered. If you remember, we're able to say when something have happened, run this workflow. So you could have tied that into when a cart is successfully, or when a new customer is created, or something down that line, you're able to trigger that too. So it doesn't need to be a manually pushed button. With that said, we're going to talk Zapier very soon, and Zapier have all of these automated triggers set up for you already in our new integration. So some of these can be much quicker executed on. So today we covered how to set up webhooks in Final for smooth data flows. We also showed you how to connect with n8n for powerful automations and explored how to use those automatically to enrich customer data. With this knowledge, you're ready to build custom POS workflows for your business that will connect with almost any external service, giving you the tools to deliver standout checkout experiences for your clients. I'm excited to see what you'll create. Show us what you would build in the comments below, and if you need any help to build them, we're happy to jump in and help guide you through on how to set up your unique checkout flows. Whether it's customer data enrichments, marketing automations, or something totally unique and different, the possibilities are limitless. And that's Final.